Good morning everyone. So we'll discuss about the third module, performance of three-phase induction motor. So what do you mean by performance? Performance means, so we need to check out the efficiency. That is called as performance. That is how to find out the efficiency. Efficiency is given by output power to the input power. Okay. So what is output power? Output power is called as input power minus losses. That is called as the output power. So that's why we need to find out the losses occurred in the induction motor. So what are the various types of losses occurred in the induction motor? The various losses are, one is constant losses, another one is variable losses. Okay. So what is variable loss and what is constant loss? So constant loss means it does not vary with respect to the load, and variable loss means it varies with respect to the load. So how the power is flowing from inputs to the output, so that is called as power flow diagram. In induction motor we have stator part and rotor part, and stator is connected to the input supply and rotor is connected to the output load. Okay. So P in is the input power, that is called as net electrical input, that is a three-phase input is given to the stator, so RYB. Okay. So the output of stator is given to the rotor. So output of the stator is minus stator losses. So the adding of stator losses and output power, that is called as input to the stator. And similarly rotor having the input, that is called as P2 is the rotor input and PM is the rotor output. So from output to input to output there is some loss called as some rotor losses. So rotor losses again we call it as copper losses and some mechanical losses. Okay. So now P2 is represented by the output of stator. It is also equal to the input to the rotor. And PM is called as the output of the rotor. That is represented as gross mechanical power developed. Okay. So and rotor losses are copper losses as well as iron losses. So iron losses are less, hence we will neglect the iron losses of the rotor. So only representing copper losses, that is represented by PC. Mechanical losses are friction and windage losses. So the output across the shaft, that is called as a useful power or also called as shaft power. So now total power flow diagram of a three-phase induction motor. From this you can write some equations of the power flow diagram. So the power equation power, that is the input power, that is generally will given as √3 VL/IL cos pi, line voltage, line current and power factor. Okay. So this is called as net input electrical power. P2. So P2 is called as stator output or input to the rotor, that is given by input power minus stator losses, that is called as P2. Therefore P in minus stator losses. What are the stator losses? Stator losses includes iron losses as well as copper losses. Iron are also called as core plus copper losses. This is called as input to the rotor. And PC is termed as rotor copper losses. So how to find out the rotor copper losses? So rotor copper losses is rotor current multiplied by rotor resistance. Okay. So if it is a 3 phases, so therefore 3 multiplied by 3 current, that is I2R, that is the rotor current under running condition. The square of the rotor current under the running condition multiplied by rotor resistance. So this will give PC, that is called as rotor copper loss. So now PM is the gross mechanical power developed, that is given by P2 minus PC. P2 minus PC, this will use the PM. And P out, that is the useful power or shaft power, can termed as a P out. P out is given by PM minus mechanical losses. So here this is PM is the minus mechanical losses. This will use the output power. This is also called as a shaft power. So now coming to the efficiency, after finding the losses, we will find out the efficiency. Efficiency is given by rotor output by rotor input. So rotor output is called as gross mechanical power developed. Rotor output, this is the rotor output. So this is also represented by PM, that is gross mechanical power developed. And rotor input, that is your rotor input, that is P2 is your rotor input. So therefore gross mechanical power developed divided by rotor input, gross mechanical power developed is PM divided by rotor input is called as P2. So this is called as meter rotor. That is the efficiency of the rotor. So similarly, you can find out the net motor efficiency. So total motor efficiency. How to find out total motor efficiency? P out minus P in. This is the net motor efficiency. So the P out minus P in. P out is called as net output of at shaft divided by net electrical input to the motor. And the power flow diagram is also found from the stator input to the output of the rotor. The stator input consists of iron I square R losses at the stator, that is called as copper losses at the stator. Similarly, core loss at the stator and stator output. So if you add these three, this will give the stator input. So similarly, stator output is divided into two. One is I square R loss across the rotor and total mechanical power developed, that is called as PM. Okay, so this is called as copper loss and output of the stator. Okay, that is called as stator. So again, mechanical power developed, that is PM, has again different flows. That is, one is rotor copper loss, friction loss, windage loss, stray losses, and finally useful power output across the shaft. So once you know the efficiency and losses, and to find out the performance, we need to know about where the maximum efficiency will be occurring. So how to find out the maximum efficiency will be occurring? So there is a condition for maximum efficiency. Always variable loss is equal to the constant loss. So this is the condition for occurring the maximum efficiency. The point A shows the maximum efficiency. At this point, the condition is variable loss is equal to the constant loss. So how to find this one is, so you need to draw the graph or percentage efficiency versus output of the motor. If you increase the output of motor, so your percentage efficiency is also increasing. At some point, it will reach us the maximum. That is where the variable losses is equal to the constant loss. Then again it will decreases. So percentage efficiency, that is P out by Pn into 100. The maximum efficiency will occur and variable loss become equal to the constant loss. So now we will discuss about equivalent circuit of a induction motor. So it is similar to the transformer equivalent circuit. So we have a stator and a rotor. So this is the stator part and this is the rotor part. So in between stator and the rotor there is a air gap. That is, air gap is represented by the dotted lines. Okay, so nearly 0.4 mm to 4 mm distance is in between stator to rotor. So stator is represented as a primary side and rotor is represented by the secondary side. Hence it is called as rotating secondary. Transformer is also called as a rotating transformer. Induction motor is also called as a rotating transformer. So primary winding or stator winding is represented in two terms, that is resistance and reactance of the winding. R1 is the resistance of the primary winding, X1 is the reactance of the primary winding. Similarly, R2 is the resistance of the secondary winding, that is called as the rotor winding, and X2 is the reactance of the secondary winding, that is called as the rotor under standstill condition, and X2R, R represent running condition. If there is no R, only X2 is present, then it is called a standstill condition. So X2R is given by slip times of X2. S into X2, that is called a slip times of X2. So no load components are also represented, that is called as R0 and X0. So this is the induction motor is as a transformer. Okay, so here E1 and E2. E1 is the induced voltage in the stator per phase. E2 is the rotor induced EMF per phase on standstill. Only E2 represent, that is called as standstill condition of the rotor. E2R represent, here E2R represent under running condition of the rotor. So whenever running condition comes, the slip will become, slip is also multiplied with the original thing, that is called as E2. S into E2, this will give the E2R. So now transformation ratio or turns ratio, that is given by K is equal to E2 by E1, that is equal to rotor turns by stator turns, like N2 by N1 in transformer. And V1 is the supply voltage per phase you have to take, because it is a 3-phase induction motor. And E2R is the rotor induced EMF under running condition. And R2 is the rotor resistance per phase. X2R is rotor reactance per phase in running condition. R1 and X1 are stator resistance and stator reactance per phase respectively. So now I0 is the no load current, that is having a 2 components. So this is I0 is flowing here because of R0 and X0. So there is 2 components of I0, that is called as IC and I mu. Okay, IC it is also called as IW, it is working component or active component or core loss component, hence it is called as IC. Okay, so and I mu or IM, that is called as magnetizing current or magnetizing component of a no load component, no load current. So therefore I0 having 2 currents, one is IW and I mu. Okay, so there are no load losses, that is R0 is representing no load loss and X0 is representing flux setup, so that is reactance. So therefore these things can be calculated by V1 by IC. So we have V1 here, so the IC component flowing through the R0, IM component is flowing through the X0. So voltage across this divided by this resistance, this will give IC. Voltage across X0 divided by X0 and divided by IM, this will give the X0. So therefore V1 by IC, V1 by IC, this will give R0, and V1 by I mu, this will give X0. Okay, so therefore the vector summation of IC and IM, this will give the I0. So I0 is the summation of IC plus IM. So now we will write the basic equivalent circuit of an induction motor. So here this is the stator part and this is the circuit for rotor part. In stator R1 and X1, and similarly no load components R0, X0, I0, IC and IM, it has shown. And similarly in secondary side R2, it is a constant quantity and X2 is the variable quantity, because with respect to the load, so slip is also becomes varies, and X2R you have to write X2R is equal to S into X2. And similarly the current flowing in the circuit, that is called as I2R, that is current under running condition. Okay, I2R is the rotor current in running condition. So you know the equation for I2R, I2R is equal to E2R divided by Z2R. This total term is called as Z2R. Okay, so therefore E2R divided by Z2R, E2R given by S into E2, S into E2, and Z2R is given by square root of R2 square plus S into X2 square. So the load on the motor changes, the motor speed changes, the slip is also going to be changed, hence the reactance X2R will change. So already told, that is X2R is depending upon the slip. So if slip is changing, so therefore X2R is also going to be changing. So hence it is called as variable quantity. Therefore, okay, the I2R is the rotor current under running condition. So that is given by E2 divided by square root of R2 by S whole square plus X2 square. So now assume rotor circuit is under running condition. X2 and E2 are fixed here, and but variable resistance R2 by S as indicated in the above equation. So take R2 by S. So R2 by S we can rewrite it as adding and subtracting of R2. So therefore R2 plus R2 by S minus R2. Okay. So then R2 plus R2, take R2 common, then we'll get 1 over S minus 1, and R2 plus R2 into, so we'll write it as 1 minus S divided by S. So R2 by S having two parts. One is R2, another one is R2 into 1 minus S by S. So R2 is called as rotor resistance, that is termed to the copper losses, and another term is represented by load resistance, that is called as electrical equivalent of mechanical load on the motor. So now we'll redraw a rotor equivalent circuit. So rotor equivalent circuit having there are two R2 terms. There is one is R2 and another one is X2, and third one is called as RL term. RL is equal to R2 into 1 minus S divided by S, and the current flowing here is called as I2R, rotor current under running condition. So now for equivalent circuit refer to the stator side, there are some parameters are going to be changed. So this is equivalent circuit refer to the stator, and whatever the rotor terms are there, that is shifted to the stator side, then rotor terms will becomes dash. Okay, so that can be given by the equations. K is called as E2 by E1, and suppose you want to find out the E2 dash, that is equal to E2 divided by K. And similarly I2R dash, we have I2, but in shifting of I2R into the primary side or stator side, then it will becomes I2R dash. So that will be given by K into I2R. Okay, so we have I2R equation, S into E2 divided by square root of R2 square plus S into X2 whole square. For that multiplied by K, that will gives the I2R dash. And similarly X2 dash is given by X2 by K square, and R2 dash is given by R2 by K square, and RL dash is given by RL by K square. Okay, so now RL by K square, that is written as RL, we know that RL is equal to R2 into 1 minus S by S, so divided by K square. So from this R2 by K square is written as R2 dash. This R2 dash multiplied by 1 minus S by S. So this is called as reflected mechanical load on the stator side. Okay, so now we will redraw the equivalent circuit refer to the stator side. R1 X1 representing total is called as Z1, and R2 X2 dash, this is for secondary side, and R0 and X0, this is for no load component. So no load component current I0 plus I2 dash, this will give the I1. So now we're shifting the no load component on left hand side. So then I2R dash and I0, the combination of these two, this will give the total current I1, and we'll take R1 and R2 dash, adding R1 and R2 dash, this will becomes R1E, and similarly adding X1 and X1 dash, this will becomes X1E. So these are equivalent resistance referred to the stator, and X1E is called as equivalent reactance referred to the stator side. And this RL is given by R2 dash into 1 minus S divided by S, and therefore R1E is rewritten as R1 plus R2 dash is equal to R2 by K square. Similarly X1E is equal to X1 plus X2 by K square, and I1 is equal to I0 plus I2R dash. I1 is equal to I0 plus I2R dash, and I0 is equal to IC plus IM. So I0 is equal to IC plus IM. So now we'll simplify this approximate equivalent circuit. So that is R1 plus R2 dash will becomes R1E, and X1 plus X2 dash is called as X1E, and variable resistance, that is load resistance, called as RL, that is shown here, R2 dash into 1 minus S by S. So now, so this is called as approximate equivalent circuit of a induction motor. And power equations from the equivalent circuit is also, write it as PM is the gross mechanical power output developed in the motor, that is given by P2, that is the rotor input, that is minus copper losses occurred in the rotor. This will give the gross mechanical power developed. Therefore PM is also given by the P2 is equal to 3 into I2 R dash into R2 dash divided by S, minus PC is given by 3 into I2 R dash whole square into R2, and gross mechanical power is given by 3 times of I2 R dash whole square into R2 dash into 1 minus S divided by S. And similarly, so torque is given by PM divided by omega. So write as PM equation divided by 2 pi n into 60. And I2R dash is given by voltage divided by Z. This R1E plus RL dash whole square plus X1E whole square. So thank you.